Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It's another episode of Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio. And today we have for you, Andrew and I have for you, a holiday themed word association episode. Will it be fun? Yes. Do I know anything more than that? No. And that's kind of fun. You know what I do know a lot about, Andrew?
What do you know? You know a lot about a lot of
This is going to be a brilliant segue. I love this segue. You know what I know a lot about? I know a lot about today's sponsor, Martialytics, which is the software, the martial arts school software that a number of us on the team use and recommend. And Andrew just left the screen, and I'm not sure why. And now he's back. Okay, what is happening? This is chaos. Okay. Martialytics as a sponsor is kind of interesting because they're the only sponsor that we've had that we went out and got. Most of you know out there, and I'm going to try to keep this brief because we're going to be talking about Martialytics over time. But several months ago, my martial arts school was creeping up on a year old, and it was time. I knew that running things on spreadsheets, it wasn't the way to go anymore. And I said, it's been a while since I've done the research. I know the big names. You all know the big names. I said, let me see what else is out there. And no matter how I evaluated what was out there, there was one option that came up that I said, this is really interesting to me. And it was Martialytics. And so I reached out to Victor, who takes care of partnerships and sponsorships for us. And I said, Victor, I want you to talk to these folks and I want you to get us a demo and see what's going on because this sounds really neat. And what we found out was not only is it really neat, but the people behind it are really cool. We've talked to them a few times. Actually, Andrew, aren't you recording with them at some point soon? Yeah, they're going to be on the show, not to plug their product specifically, but to talk about why. I mean, why do you start making martial arts software? And it keeps growing, but it always works. And that's something that's really important to me, is that it always works. And we've got this deal with them where if you sign up and then you communicate to them, hey, we came to you because of Whistlekick, they double your free trial from 30 to 60 days. And they'll help you do your conversion from whatever you're using now, whether it's, another company that I'm not going to mention, because there are a variety of them, or spreadsheets like I did, and it just makes my school better. It just makes things easier. So if you have a school and you're looking for a low cost but high function option, Martialytics is the way to go. And there should be a link in the show notes for that. And if there isn't, I'm sure Andrew, the show notes haven't happened yet. Andrew will take care of that. It's spelled weird. It's the only thing I don't like about the company is the way they Martialytics. It's exactly how you would expect it to be spelled, but it's not a great company name. But it is a great company, and I like them. So hopefully they're not listening to this because they may not like this plug. But I just want to be honest.
And I believe you can go to whistlekickmartialartsradio.com/partners to get more info.
Yeah, there's a partners page at the website. And, while you're over there, transcripts and all the other good things that we do. And really, it's like everything else that we do. How do we provide more value? And we looked into making our own. I really did. It's like, what if we make our own school management software? And I said, we would be so far behind so many good options. Let's see what is out there. And yeah, check it out. It's worth it. And if you're using software, you will probably save money switching over to these guys, and they will help you. So you should check it out.
Awesome. And you already mentioned if you're going to whistlekickmartialartsradio.com, you can also go to whistlekick.com.
And you probably should.
All kinds of stuff there.
I think we rolled out for the holidays. I think we rolled out something like 15 new products between gift stuff and apparel and hats and shirts and all that.
Yep.
All that
and
good stuff.
This episode will come out on the 12th of December. So just before the holidays. We can't guarantee that you will be able to get your items delivered to you in time for the holidays. It's possible, but not
you might get it, but let's face it, a large portion of holiday purchases are not for gifts. They're for the person purchasing. Yeah. So you should get yourself.
I'll tell you the shirt that I love is the one with the snowman on it. Yeah. The snowman and the Santa hat with the black belt. I love it. It's great.
And it says just train.
Just train. That's all.
Even the snowman understands.
Yep. Or the dragon with the hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Jeremy, today we're
Yeah.
doing a word association,
Word association.
which we haven't done for a while,
We have
and
not
this
done
is
those in
going
a
to
while.
be our holiday edition.
Okay.
Okay, so all of the
Everything
words,
relates to coal.
no.
Everything is coal, and when you punch it hard enough, it becomes a diamond. Done. End of episode.
Okay, so thank you for joining us today on Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio. Okay, your first word is wrapping paper.
Okay. There was a time in my life where I thought wrapping paper was just the lamest thing in the world, and I would give people gifts in stapled paper bags, and it did the job. And again, I didn't fully understand, and we don't need to turn this into a diatribe on wrapping paper. But wrapping paper is kind of interesting in that there aren't a whole lot of things that we invest time and money and energy into that are solely to improve the experience for someone else. That's all it does. I could, if I'm giving you, I don't know, something gift worthy, I could give you this mug, Andrew. I could shout out to
Oh
Buzz
my gosh,
Durkin.
that
Shout
was
out to
funny.
Buzz Durkin.
We both
We're,
grabbed the exact same
we are
mug,
we
which
are
we have on
drinking
our
out of
desk.
our Buzz Durkin's 50th anniversary karate school mugs.
Um,
Great folks
no,
over
no
there.
offense. Don't give this one to me because I actually, I bought two.
You have two? Okay.
I have two.
Well, let's pretend you didn't have one, or let's pretend you were creating a trifecta of Buzz Durkin mugs. And I was going to give you this mug. Without the wrapping paper, you know what it is instantly, right? It becomes very hard to make a ceremony out of it. It becomes hard for me to cultivate that surprise experience that you really enjoy. Because let's face it, almost everyone enjoys wrapping gifts. Even my dog, when I was growing up, enjoyed unwrapping gifts. Right? Like, it's a fun tradition. But how do you do that without wrapping paper? Right now, you can do it with a paper bag. But if you're doing that with a paper bag, it achieves a similar experience. But you can tell I did not invest the same time, energy, and money. You can tell I was not as concerned with your experience, and that the gift may be just as valuable to you, but on some level, you know, I don't value you valuing the gift in the same way. I believe the way we show up to train in classes is very similar to this.
Hmm.
Now, if you've been training a while, you may very well have a routine around your training. You may arrive at the school early, you might do some stretching or some warming up. You have certain clothing that you likely put on, whether that's a traditional martial arts uniform or maybe you train somewhere that wears gym clothes, but you have specific clothing that you wear. I don't know too many people that walk in with boots and jeans and just start kicking or whatever. And the more seriously you take that ceremony, that formality, the more it cultivates an experience for the others who are training. Now, if you've never been in the front of the room running a school of your own for a period of time, you may not understand how important all of those things are to the culture of a school. But if you have been, especially if you have people who show up in dirty, smelly uniforms and they're frequently late and they don't pay attention and maybe they need a little bit of extra mobility work or something to warm up for class, but they don't arrive and do it. They spend the first 30 minutes of class complaining about their knee or something. That impacts not just their experience in training, but everyone's experience in training. And so the reason I'm relating these two things together is because you can say wrapping paper is a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of money. You don't need it. I could just hand you the mug and say, happy whatever, merry whatever, Andrew. And you might say, hey, thanks, I appreciate that. But 99 times out of 100, if not more, if you're unwrapping that paper and opening that box, it says something about the way I want you to feel when you receive that. Just as when you step out on the floor, when you're training with people and you show up and you bring your absolute best, when you prepare for that experience of your time on the floor, it tells them, whether they realize it or not, you want to have a great experience, and you are giving them either permission or leading towards a great experience for all of them as well.
All right. So I have two things to say.
Okay.
One, so if that's the case, then this isn't on the list. But if I had on my list ribbon would be your belt.
Ribbon would be the belt.
But the other thing is, for all of you guys, people listening, you don't need to get me a Buzz Durkin Karate School 50th anniversary mug. But if you do want to get me something for Christmas, because I celebrate Christmas myself,
sure.
But if you want to get me something for holidays, you can go to whistlekick. Patreon.com/whistlekick. You can get me a gift there. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for the next question? Next word.
Yes.
Word is candles.
Candles. I like candles. I'm not allowed to have candles in this apartment, which is, I understand, because sometimes people are silly. I wonder if candles were as nice back when they were the only real source of light, right? Like pre-electricity, did people find candles as enjoyable? I don't know. There's something really nice about a couple candles on a cold evening, a dark evening, whether they're in the window, whether they're in a menorah. It changes it changes how you feel about things. Sometimes they smell good. So I'm going to relate candles. Oh, I don't really want to do that one. It's silly and fun, but hold on. Is there a better one? We'll just do it. Candles are like deodorant.
Interesting. So you're going with the smell and less so the actual light.
Actually, no.
Okay.
No. Candles and deodorant, it's both very obvious, the contrast between having them and not. If you have a couple candles lit and you blow them out, it gets dark. Most people don't like that setting as much. The contrast between between someone who needs deodorant and does not have it, and someone who you don't know if they need deodorant because they have it on, changes things. They're both very distracting for different reasons. And I would suggest that just as one should always have candles, whether for safety or emergency or however you want to term it, one should also always have deodorant.
Okay. Next word. Wreath.
I didn't think that's where I was going to go with it either.
That's okay.
To be fair.
All right. Your next word is wreath.
Right. Wreath. Maybe that should have been deodorant. Because wreaths smell good. All right. I don't know the symbolism on wreaths. I probably should, but I don't. So I can't go there. They look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wreaths are like belts. They look nice. They can be symbolic. They don't really do anything. People make the claim our belt just holds your pants up. Actually, it doesn't. And how do we know that? Because it's the last thing you put on and your pants are on first. We know it doesn't hold your pants up. It holds your jacket down. That's all it does. Yeah. It's tradition. And it's a nice tradition. And it's one that people can get really deep into. There are people who order wreaths made of certain evergreen species from various places and are very proud about hanging those on their front door and the ribbon and all that jazz. And that's great. But it doesn't actually change anything. Your house is the same once that wreath comes down, just as you are the same, your skills are the same, just as you take your belt off.
All right. I thought you were going to go with wreaths are made from the quote unquote bunny ears using quote unquote scraps of trimmings of Christmas trees, of holiday trees. That it was something that was thrown away, and then like, hey, we've got these things. Why don't we turn it into something nice? I thought you were going to go there, but you didn't. So can't go back.
I didn't. Nope. You're right.
You're stuck.
But that also would have been a good one. Maybe
okay. One. Next word.
Okay.
Rudolph.
All right. If you spend much time in a martial arts school, whether or not this describes you, I think we can all agree that martial arts tends to attract people that are a bit unconventional. That the folks who were conventionally accepted, if you want to use the word popular, in school, they don't tend to gravitate towards martial arts in the same way that other folks did, right? It's pretty common knowledge. Well, that's kind of Rudolph's story, right? He was the outcast of the reindeer, and his value was not initially seen. And for a lot of us, we start training and we're around people who see our value. And that's a really nice thing. And sometimes we have to cultivate our value. And martial arts gives us an opportunity to do that.
Okay. Lights.
The pretty.
Yep. That's true. They can be.
All right. Lights are to Christmas trees as patches are to Kempo gis.
Okay.
They're colorful. They rarely show up individually. Come on, you got to give me some. You got to give me some.
Good. That's good. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not. There's a bit of a joke there that the audience may not recognize, in that a number of my friends, our friends, are Kempo practitioners, and somehow, even though I've trained and hold rank in Kempo, and I actually don't genuinely find anything wrong with it, it's the art that I make fun of. I don't know why. Typically, I don't make fun of people that I don't like, right? And it seems like that extends to Kempo as well. I actually, the more time I spend training, the more I go, oh, this is kind of a Kempo principle that's showing up, right? So, but let me be a little more broad and a little less sarcastic. Lights look nice. They decorate. They offer an opportunity to take a thing that is fairly standardized, a tree. I mean, when you talk about the differences in trees, whether you call it a Christmas tree or a holiday tree or a Hanukkah bush or I don't know. There are probably other names for it. The tree is pretty much the same. The height's different. Maybe the species is different, but the tree itself is not that different.
Mm-hmm.
But the lights and the decorations become an opportunity to individualize it. And to me, there's actually a lot of individualization opportunity within our training. If you are someone who trains forms at a very high level, you can see they might not be as obvious to people who don't know forms really well, but if you're good, you can see, oh, I see what they did there. I see how they did that there, whether it's a small change in timing or placement or emphasis. And sparring, right? These opportunities really do abound within our training. And the longer I spend training, the more enjoyable I find recognizing the differences, the individualization in what people do, especially in a specific school. Oh, you learned the same things from the same people, theoretically the same way, but you do them a little differently. And I think that's cool. How many people, how many homes just in the United States have Christmas trees this year and not one of them looks exactly the same? And that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so would you treat the word ornament the same way?
I don't have to. I think on this, if you had given me ornament first, I might have given you the same.
Mm-hmm.
But just to keep it from being redundant, ornaments are I've ornaments tend to be memories, whether it's you know the kids made the ornaments in kindergarten and they go up on the tree every year until they fall apart, or some families have traditions where they'll buy those Hallmark ornaments for everybody in the family, and so there's an annual tradition there. Lights you tend to buy, and then you use the same lights until they die. But the ornaments, there's there's a how do I want to describe it? If you're a family that puts ornaments on the tree, there's a tradition around that. Maybe you're drinking hot cocoa or eggnog or whatever else. Eggnog is gross. Um, but if you have enough ornaments, then there are decisions to be made. Oh well, we can't put this one on the back. No one will see it. This one has to go up. This one's important. Oh, we don't have room for all of them. All right. Well, I guess that one can go back in the box, right? And we could compare that to curriculum and movement, right? If I said, Andrew, how many different movements or how many different forms or whatever do you know? You've learned quite a few things over your time training. Some of them mean more to you than others.
Mm-hmm.
Even if what others might see as objective evaluations of, maybe the aesthetics or the effectiveness, it doesn't always line up that way. Sometimes a movement or a form or something just means more to you than another because of a variety of reasons. And that, not only is that okay, I think that's a good thing. Refer back to prior word around individualization.
Perfect. Okay, so this one, I'm going to give you the word, but I'm then going to give a very quick description because people outside of New England might not know what it is.
Okay.
But the word, or the two words, is Yankee swap. So, for those that might not know what it is, a Yankee swap is a holiday party that you go to. Everybody brings one gift that is wrapped without a name on it, and then everybody draws numbers to determine what order they're going to go up and open the gift. And once you open your gift, you can choose to either keep that gift or swap it with someone else who has already opened their gift. So just because you opened up this Buzz Durkin Karate School mug, if you would rather have this set of car keys, you could swap it for that set of car keys. So that's what a Yankee swap is. How does that associate to martial arts?
Okay. And I will say that not every family does it the same. right? Yankee swaps have some individualization
Sure,
around
that's true.
order and everything, and there's probably a Wikipedia page on it. Is it similar to a white elephant? I've heard that
White
term
elephant, you
recently.
generally bring a gift that you don't want.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it can be, but
Yeah.
usually not. Okay. Um, so the things that I find most fun and most interesting about Yankee swaps is the trading that goes on. And sometimes it gets heated if you have a
Absolutely.
family that really is comfortable with each other. It can get heated in a really fun way. Hopefully not a not fun way, but I suppose that's possible. Some of my theory on how we learn martial arts in a class setting has changed a little bit. And we've talked about it on the show that I no longer see the majority of information coming from instructor to student in a typical class environment. That if you look over a broad period of time, the majority of education that students gain is from their peers via partner work, sparring, via observation, both conscious and unconscious. And there's a, just as in a fun, healthy Yankee swap, there's some challenging going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So also without that challenge, you don't have a good martial arts class environment. If you have a school where your students aren't pushing each other to get better, let's say they're sparring and everybody is lackadaisical about their sparring and no one's putting any effort in, no one's making any progress. There has to be some challenge. There has to be some not necessarily competition, but it's close to that, right? There needs to be a little bit of push, a little bit of fire in what you do. And I don't mean that in with respect to speed or strength or anything. It can be, you and I could train slowly together and I can still challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
I can still make sure that what I'm giving to you as my contribution to our partner work is as good as I can make it. Right.
All right.
And holding you accountable. Right. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what I see for Yankee Swap.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I see it. Not where I would have gone, but that's okay. I wasn't the one answering. It was you. All right. You ready for the last one?
We gotta do one where we flip this, where I give you the words.
No, that's not as much fun.
Could be.
Okay.
You don't know the words I'm going to pick.
All right. So here we go. Last one. You ready?
Yep.
Frosty the Snowman.
Is that the whole thing, or am I supposed to sing the song, or is my word
No.
was?
The word is Frosty the Snowman.
Okay.
How do you associate
sure.
Frosty the Snowman with martial arts? I just wanted to be fun and do a sing song.
Okay. I appreciate the clarity. I'm running through the song right now.
I think it's in the public domain. We could sing it.
I don't know that I want to do that to the audience.
I don't know the audience wants you to do that.
I am, and you know what? Now that you've said that, they do, because they like being contrarians. I'm not singing to you, and if I'm going to sing to you one day, it's not going to be Frosty. I don't know what it would be. You can all decide that amongst yourselves.
Maybe it'll be in the
any
outro.
music from the movie Best of the Best. Because I know that's because Mark is listening to this episode right now and he's already typing a message to suggest the theme for Best of the Best. No. Okay. It's magic, right? What made Frosty real? It was magic. And there's something that happens, and I think people who really get into Christmas understand this, that when you take a look at the Christmas traditions, and heck, I mean, The Hanukkah story is the same thing. There's magic in there. There are things that we talk about that logically can't happen, right? Like a snowman can't come to life, but it's nice to pretend because it's nice to spend some time existing in a world where it's not all cut and dry, it's not all logical, it's not all routine and sensibility. And I think for people who get a lot out of martial arts training, they're willing to suspend some of their skepticism when they train. It is a common occurrence when someone starts training that they'll look at the higher ranks and say, I could never do that. I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that. But on some level, at some point, they suspend their disbelief just enough that it becomes possible, and then it is actual. What we do as martial artists is, on some levels, really silly. But it is an environment whereby we can imagine a different reality, but we also get to work towards it.
Hmm.
When you make a snowman, when the kids made Frosty, they believed, right? They rolled, and I don't know what percentage of our audience has made a snowman. I hope all. If not, you got to make a snowman at some point. It's a
I
good
mean, you
time.
may live in an area where there isn't snow,
But you gotta take a vacation. You gotta take a winter vacation and make a snowman. I'm telling you. But at some point, those kids they started rolling out the sections of the snowman. And Andrew, you've made a snowman before, probably more than a few, and it's fun. There's you know that at no point as you put the pieces together will that snowman come to life. But that doesn't change the joy in wanting to see it coalesce at the end and step back however you decorate it, whether you put a carrot on for a nose, or you go find some rocks on the side of the driveway, which gives you the opportunity to do some fun mouth things. But you still believe, right? Even if it's only a little bit, you still believe. You're like, hey, that's a pretty good snowman. And I think we need more magic, even if it's imagined, and even if it's temporary. And I think the training space, the floor, is as good a place to have it as any.
All right, excellent. That concludes our word association holiday edition. I did look up actually really quickly. Frosty the Snowman is not in the public domain, so we will not be singing it
It's
in
a
an outro.
good thing we didn't sing it.
Yep. Yep. Oh well.
Oh shucks. To those of you out there, if you have a theme for one of these or some specific words towards one, please reach out to Andrew at whistlekick.com. I'm Jeremy at whistlekick.com. You can find every episode we've ever done at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. And then the whole multitude of things that we do, from our books to apparel to training programs to our events, are all available at whistlekick.com. If you have a martial arts school, please check out Martialytics. It is absolutely worth your time. If you have questions about it, you can reach out to us. We are becoming, I don't want to say experts at it, but maybe that is a good word. Internally, because we've got a number of people on the team using it, we're starting to put together some materials that show you how we think you should use it, because it's not just here's the what, here's the why. Right, that's the layer that we are able to add to it for people. And thank you to Martialytics for trusting us to talk about their organization. And I think that's it. I think that's a good place for us to end. We're going to go record another one. Andrew, thanks for doing that. That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was good.
Got to go in some different directions. So we will close it up here. Until next time, train hard.
smile,
smile, and
and have a
have
great
a
day.
great day.